they were a bit jumbled.
Yeah.
It's the best way I can put it. It's like, okay, let me reason through that, what you just said, kind of thing. Yeah, right. Unfortunately. And you know what? I hate to say this. I end up having this, angst every semester that a lot of my lower ones are blacks. Happens almost every semester. And it's like, oh, come on. Get some really good ones, but there are also usually some that are just plain at the bottom. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So I feel bad.
All right, so you heard that clip right there. Now tell me what you think about that. There's two Georgetown professors. One's name is forget the name. Sellers. Sellers is her last name. I think it's Sarah or something like that. But she was fired for these remarks. It was in a Zoom call that was recorded and then leaked out to the public. And also her comrade on the call with her has been put on administrative leave, I guess indefinitely. And they're saying these are disparaging remarks. And my question is where? And this is coming from me as a black man. What I hear in her voice is, and I could be wrong, but I hear concern. I hear frustration and concern. Sounds like she wants better. Because and reason why I'm able to understand the way she's coming at it is because that I've had that reaction before. When it's come to, performance on a job, whether a test or something, and you take note of something that, and this is me as a black man, and you're taking notice saying that people that look like you are performing the lowest. In a general sense, not to say everybody, which she didn't say that. She didn't group black people into one, one generalization and say, black people have the worst test scores or anything like that. And even if she did, if she could back it up with actual data, then what's the problem? All she did was go off something that she basically had an observation. And then I saw the interview with, I don't know who it was, black guy. I don't know if he was a lawyer or something. And just said, I don't know, basically just dismissed her and said what she's saying wasn't a fact. Well, how do you know that? Have y'all taken a look at the data to confirm what she's actually saying? Doesn't look like it to me. Looks like you just jumped out the window. Looks like white people once again trying to cape for black folks over there at Georgetown. Trying to speak for black people, trying to speak for everybody when you can't speak for everybody. You don't understand the pain. Don't understand the the effects of, history. You don't understand all of that. You trying to comprehend it through your lens, but you're going about it the wrong way. You don't hear the conversations. You don't deal with the day-to-day interaction, different issues that we have. You're not dealing with that. It's to a lot of white folks. Dealing with it from the outside. You're not talking to people up close. These college kids that you're dealing with that never been through nothing. Talking about black kids. A lot of them definitely don't have the answers. Not enough experience. They're young. Not saying they haven't, they haven't faced, hardships and tribulations in their life, but they're young. So they haven't even, they don't even have the experience to give a full outlook on everything in life and see every different situation, react to them, different things like that. So where's the outrage coming from? I remember when I was in the Air Force, man. My recruiter himself, he was amazed. I'll never forget. I scored 81 on the ASVAB to get into the Air Force. Air Force is the hardest one to get into, and I think you need something about y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but like a 54 or something to get in. But it's the hardest one to get into. I scored an 81. Now keep in mind, I thought that was impressive or whatnot, but keep in mind when I got in and got around, and I'll tell you the truth, a lot of white folks and Asian folks, not a lot of them, but, ones who were getting higher scores, they were clocking in at about, some getting 99s and 88s on that same ASVAB test. And that's not to say that any black person wasn't capable of doing that or hadn't done that. I'm pretty sure, people watching this, they can chime in and give their scores if you had this experience and been in the Air Force. But I'll tell you what that recruiter said. He specifically said you scored the highest score out of anybody on that test that I've personally dealt with. He said he's had a problem getting, young black boys to score, high on it. He said it was an issue, and it was, it was frustration. You can sense the frustration because he wanted better. And that's what I'm seeing from this lady. I'm not seeing anything that's, done in a malicious manner or anything of this sort. Just wants better. It's something that, she made an observation. So now you got to figure out, once the observation is made, then you start figuring out, well, where does that come from? Like I say, I state that it comes from a lot of different places. We got a lot of baggage. Even black people that, that may come from, good homes and different things like that. It's still the effects that have been put on black people within this country. It carries over. It carries over in just our daily interactions with each other, right? But that's things that you wouldn't even understand unless you grew up black. And I'm just using, I don't like to use the term black. That's a construct. It's a systematic construct. They use that word. Of course, we're not really black. That's just their coding that they use. But, I speak in those terms to make it simple, to keep it real simple, keep the conversation understandable. So yeah, instead of fire her, they should have figured out, why. Take a look at the data to even confirm if what she's saying is true, and then ask the question why. What is the barrier? Is it the teaching method? Different people have different teaching methods. What is it? But we got to keep it all the way real. We've seen too many instances of this, and this is surprising when you've had, you having stories of them basically placing handicaps and dumbing down the literature, not literature, but the curriculum in different schools, just like the San Diego school district, where they're claiming the grading system is racist because, white and Asian kids are getting higher scores and performing well. Meanwhile, Latino kids and mainly black kids are having the lowest scores within the school. So instead of addressing the barrier and addressing the problem and trying to get to the root of the issue, they just lower the standard. They just lower the standard. Now, of course, I believe all of this is being done on purpose. It's all a societal effort, but that's just a belief. That's a belief. It's all being done on purpose because, you can take advantage of less sharp minds. Not even less sharp mind, It's very loaded, man. It's a lot of different things, man. A lot of different factors that go into this, man. This is just wrong. Got that Bill Gates equitable math program with the lady talking about math is racist. Math is math, man. It's markers. It's an equation to get to something. Now, if somebody can figure out something to get to arrive, or they have another theory on what something is, always present it. But if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. But you have this equitable math program that is basically telling people that 2 + 2 can be 5. And think about how that translates to other aspects of life that you see in the media. Hell, they're even telling people that, logical thinking is a white man's thing. It's white supremacy. As if a black man is not capable of thinking logical, or nor he shouldn't. And everything should be led with emotion. This is an actual thing. Actually look it up. Now, this could all be a ploy to get people to go in, that direction. Because like I said, people like that are easy to manipulate. And it's why the power structure stays in place like it does today. It could all be a ploy, but nonetheless, like I said, people fall for it. People eat this up, and actually, there's just a lot of people that follow anything they hear, and if it sounds good, no matter how ridiculous it is, they're going for it. They'll get behind the message. That's why they want you to quit thinking logically. That's why they make all these moves. They get it in repetition. They get you used to it. You start to become, numb to these different things, and it just becomes a way of life. Oh, they can just fire a person for telling the truth. Coming with something factual. You just make an emotional response to change somebody's livelihood, and you think you're fighting racism, when in fact, you're making it worse. You're putting gas on the flames. You're creating racist. You won't hear none of this talk on mainstream media because they want to create these problems. I believe there's different people within these organizations. These Georgetowns and, just all these corporate organizations. They want to create these problems. That's a belief. Just going off patterns. Don't have nothing substantial, nothing behind the scenes. I don't know. It's just a belief going off the patterns that you see. But they want to create these different tensions. They want to create hate. Different things like this creates hate. It does not remedy the problem. Ruining people's lives on foolishness. And then the people sitting back and letting this shit happen, they're complicit. They put the man on administrative leave for remaining quiet, basically saying that he agrees with her. And so they accused him of remaining complicit, being complicit. So wouldn't it make those ones who don't say nothing when they see these issues, don't offer any resistance, wouldn't that apply to them also? Does this world come to? I'll let y'all later, man.